For what good will it do someone if he gains the whole world but forfeits his life? Or what can a person give in exchange for his life? We put so much effort into trying to comfort and preserve what is so clearly passing away. If you really think about it, this world is nothing more than a giant hospice center. We're all on our way to the same death. Some of us are in more pain than others, and so we try to comfort that pain. But in the end, regardless of whether in good health or in bad, we all ultimately are in the same center, headed towards the same result. Because he's right. And what can we give in exchange for our life? Because the issue is that the person who holds the keys to life and death is Jesus. Even if we had $1 billion, there's no one on this earth who has the keys to life and death. And so with whatever resources we might have, we can't purchase our life. Christ is the head and ruler of all. He says all power and all authority was given to me. That means that the keys to life and death are his. That means that all the resources that we have to use are his. So even if we amassed the fortune of the entire world, we would only be giving him what he already rightfully owns and has both the authority and power to take. And so in effect, we have nothing that we could possibly offer him in exchange for our life because he already owns anything that we would ever have to offer. I think that's the thing that we sleep on sometimes, is that, we look at the situation and people would make the argument that Jesus has all power and all authority. He doesn't need to demand anything of us. He could have just been, altruistic and given us life and not placed us in this position where death is even an option. But the problem with that argument is that you could equally argue it from the other direction. I mean, you have a being who has all power and all authority and all right to do whatever he wants. So why should he care about anything that has to do with us? With the level of power and authority that he has, the level of capability that he has, the level of wisdom that he has, the gap between what we are and what he is so substantial that it would be the equivalent of me being in my living room and concerning myself with the affairs of the ants in an ant mound in my backyard. And yet he does concern himself with our affairs. He does concern himself with our conduct and with our relationship to him. And when you start to really sit down and think about it, you come to this issue of why? Why do you care? And the only rational conclusion you could come to is that it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with him. It has to do with who he is and what he is and why he made us in the first place. None of our actions have any value. None of our thoughts, none of our wealth, none of our creativity, nothing that we do has any value to the one who all of those ideas and thoughts and capabilities came from. It is truly as it says in Ephesians, we were created in love for his pleasure and his purpose. And so he loves us because that is the purpose for which he created us. And so what can we give in exchange for our life? Absolutely nothing. Because it is not ours to give, it is ours to receive. But when you realize what you have received, and the fact that it is something that you could never amass enough of anything to purchase it, then the most rational response is to let go of everything and take hold of the one who has granted you such an unimaginably profound gift.